fellow YouTubers. Before I waste anybody's time, just want to let people know, normally watch my channels and my videos, people who subscribe to my channels, that this isn't the normal type of video that I make. So I would like to point out first that when I started making YouTube videos, it was always for things, subjects I was interested in, and I just assumed that anybody that would click on any of my videos, it would just be the title. This is the way I look at YouTube videos. If there's something I want that's of interest, I put in search engine, that video comes out and I watch it. Of course, once you make a few in a certain type of video, people start to subscribe, and then you kind of feel obligated then that every video that you make should be on that subject. So rather than disappoint anybody, I'll tell you now that this video is, as the title suggests, it's about the P90X and Insanity workout videos. It's not to do with my normal videos, as I've stated. Having said that, hopefully anybody that's clicked on this has clicked on because the title suggests there is something of question about P90X and Insanity. Let me say straight away, I'm not knocking the programs. What I'm saying is there is a common sort of failing that most people will probably have when they decide to take on these exercises, in that the exercises themselves are fantastic, the program is fantastic, in both the P90X and the Insanity, but I want to highlight the fact why it didn't work for me, or at least didn't get the desired effects for me, because basically I didn't follow the nutritional side as well, and it's part, I think, as Tony Horton says, and probably Sean T, that is all part of a three-part sort of structure, that you've got the exercises, you've got the nutrition, and you've got the supplements. The problem being, especially in this age of austerity, supplements aren't cheap, particularly the highest of brand supplements, the top end supplements that they recommend, and then cheaper supplements. You've got the trust issue. You don't know whether they're going to be completely useless or maybe even something that's dangerous. So if you're going to buy supplements, you probably want to spend the decent money and get the ones. But like a lot of people, I thought, you know, do you need the supplements as well? Surely if you have a good nutritious diet, supplements perhaps can take you that bit further, but perhaps it's not necessary. But then you've got to have a good nutrition as well. So I'll talk about that a bit later. Let me tell you about the program that we went on a couple of years ago. Myself and my two eldest children decided that we wanted to go on an exercise program. We'd seen the infomercials, and more importantly, we'd seen the transformation videos people have put out there with amazing transformations, and they can't be denied. Some people, men and women, in pretty poor physical condition, and they've got exactly the kind of physiques that most people would like to have, and they've done it through the exercise programs, but of course they've also done the nutrition and supplements as well. But we went ahead and decided to go all out, because with that kind of people, it's all or nothing. We decided to go all out on this exercise and really challenge ourselves to something big, something life-changing. And we came up with something, and bearing in mind I've got the kids, my kids were like I think 15 and 17 at the time, and so we came up with a name which might sound a bit childish. We came up with the Superhero Challenge, and what that consisted of, I printed some sheets out, that we would do 90 days of the P90, which started in August, as you can see, and we then, after doing that, we went on to phase 2, which was 90 days of the P90X. We then went on to phase 3 straight after. I think there may have been a break day in between doing these. We did P90X2, and by now we're coming on to February, and then we did 60 days of Shaun T's Insanity. That was phase 4. Phase 5 was to do the P90X plus with your chosen challenge. What we actually did, by the time that came out in July, the P90X3 came out. So we did the P90X3 instead, so that then phase 6 became the P90X plus, and after that we were supposed to do phase 7, which came out. It was Shaun T's Focus, and we was on the alpha stage, when you can see I stopped abruptly there, and that was due to ankle injuries. Okay, so as you can see, that's I mean, just 90 days of the P90X is a pretty reasonable challenge. So to do all that, and we got through nearly all of them, and it wasn't easy. It was a long, hard journey. It really was a long, hard journey, and there was elements of each that I loved, elements of each phase that I didn't love quite so much. P90X2 was incredible, with things like doing press-ups on medicine balls and things like that. The science behind it, to use the expression, blew me away. That was really good. Yeah, there was a lot that was good. There's a lot of things on the P90X that I started out hating and then loving. For example, the P90X yoga, which, just for the amount of time that you do it for, was that was hard work, and I hated it to start with, and by the end of it, yoga was one of my favourite things, and I still remember being able to do the crow position for the first time, and I was so happy about that. But I never got that physique that I wanted. I was always carrying that spare tyre. It was always my weight that made it so hard. Sometimes I'd think, because my muscles were building, I was getting stronger. But things where your weight is a disadvantage, like doing pull-ups was always much harder for me than they were for my 2 kids. They were doing more than me sometimes, because of the extra weight that I was carrying. And it's because I wasn't losing weight fast enough, because I wasn't following the nutrition. Because sometimes as well, a change in nutrition means a change in how you're spending money on food. And a lot of the time, if you're on a very low budget, the cheaper food is not always the best food. And to find the extra cash to get the more expensive, healthier food, it can be a big compromise to your budget and your life. So yeah, I've lost my thread a little bit. So yeah, so I didn't get the results. It wasn't the same as the transformation videos, because I wasn't on probably the correct amount of protein. I was eating perhaps too many carbs and whatever. There is a nutrition part to the exercise, and it's just as important as all the jumping about and lifting weights and things like that. As I say, I did get stronger, but my weight was always a disadvantage, and I think my weight also contributed quite a bit to the injuries to my ankles, especially because through one situation or another I ended up having to walk to work a lot. So the strain of walking to work on my ankles, and then coming home and doing a lot of jumping around exercises and things like that, that constant impact meant that I couldn't actually finish. I finished the initial challenge which we'd set out, which was to go as far as phase 5. But by the time we got to phase 4, as I've said, 2 new programs came out, the P90X3 and the Focus T25, which we decided to add, and that's why we went from a 5-phase program to a 7-phase program. And I would like to go back to it. I would like to attempt it again, but it's a bit like having attempted to climb Mount Everest once and then thinking about starting from the bottom again and doing it all again. It takes, you don't just jump into that. It takes a bit of mental preparation and a lot of preparation really before you say, do you know what, I'm going to do this again. But if I was going to do it again, and I think my advice, the reason I'm making this video is because I want to say to anybody who's thinking of doing either the Insanity or the P90X programs with the intention of making the kind of transformations that you see in their transformation videos when you're in bad physical condition, and you think, God, these people in these videos have done it, and I can see they've done it. There's documented evidence of loads of people who've done it. Yeah, you probably can do it. And it's a fantastic program because 24 hours a day, 365 days a year, you've got some of the best physical training experts at your beck and call, because you just pop the DVD in, switch it on, and you're good to go. So that's fantastic, but you have to do the nutritional side as well. Otherwise, just like I did, you'll be wasting a lot of your time. Okay, thanks. Bye.